Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, John the House Guy. And as a real estate investor, I find myself all the time talking to people about how to screen tenants, how to make sure that their property is taken care of, how to make sure that they don't have a horror story. And today I have to just bare my soul completely and say I have dropped the ball on one of my properties. And I'm going to show you the aftermath. And this is what I would consider probably the worst case scenario. What I say to people all the time is, if you'll screen your tenants, make sure that they're, pay on time and they have a good, clean employment history and a good, clean background check as far as criminal history, and even drive by their place and make sure that their house is clean, that you pretty much can't go wrong. And then the people who have horror stories, this is my line that I always say to my investor clients. What you have to ask yourself is, well, who gave those people the keys? And that's me. I gave these people the keys. I have to take 100% ownership of this. And I am. I don't have any problem. And that's why I wanted to make this video for you, just to say, hey, even with those things in place, I have had the worst case scenario take place. Now, let me just tell you how I kind of got to this, and then I'm going to show you the video, and you'll be able to see the walkthrough video that I took the day after I evicted these tenants. What you're going to see, what happened, let me just say what happened first is I rented this house to these tenants like 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, these folks approached me and said, hey, can we pay rent 1 year in advance? And of course, I was like, that's great, because this is right after I had just bought the house, and I had rented it to a couple, and they had leased it for a year, and then they moved out, and then I had a lady to lease it on a short term for like 4 months, and the house was in great shape. We had kind of done a lot of work to it before. And then these folks said, well, hey, we want to move in, and we've got some money. We want to do a year in advance to pay up. And I was like, okay, great, that's fine. I thought, well, that works, right? We don't have to worry about the rent. And so for the first year that they lived there, I was going about every 3 months, and I would check my filters and check my alarms and do all the things that I recommend to all my investor clients. Go in there once every 2 or 3 months and just spray for bugs and check the place out and check the vents and, make sure everything's on the up and up. I had done that for like a year with these folks, right? And they were good. Everything was good. Every time I went over, the house was clean. They were taking great care of the place. And I thought, well, all right. And then over time, just got busy and for whatever reason, neglected to go back and do my follow-ups. And then as time marched on, they had some more kids, and then we had the first indication that I had that things were not going like they needed to was the rent started becoming later. And then we put them on I like these folks, I put them on a weekly rental plan. And I'll do that. I've done that before, where you put folks on a weekly rental plan. They pay a certain amount every week. It's a little bit higher than the monthly rent, so you're making a little extra money, and you don't have to, have as many late fees and deal with that as much. So I put them on that, and then that started getting to be a problem. And then the summer of 2021 got a notice from the city that said that our grass had to be cut, that it was a nuisance and a health hazard. And I had not ridden over there. And again, all that's on me. I should be checking these places out. I should be doing my part. But I had not gone by there in quite a while. Got this notice and sent them a notice and said, look, the grass has got to be taken care of within 48 hours, or you guys need to just go ahead and move. And they somehow got it cut and got it taken care of. And then from there, I kind of noticed like, things are not like they need to be. And so we went through the eviction process and got them out. And then what I'm going to show you in this video is the walkthrough video that I took of their house when it was over. It was destroyed. They had permission to have an animal in the house, but they had multiple animals, multiple children who were not supervised. It is really the worst case, what I consider to be the worst case scenario of having to go in and do work after a tenant moves out. So let's get to the video and see what you guys think. So this is starting out, coming in the kitchen, and every black bag you see is going to be simply a bag full of trash. This is the living room. That's some kind of display case from a pawn shop or something. There's just trash everywhere in the floor. And one thing that doesn't really come across in this video is the stench. The house smelled so horribly, horribly bad. There's a rug with animal droppings on it. The refrigerator I bought there was brand new whenever they moved in, and it's at the dump now. The stove is at the dump. Curtains torn down, cabinet doors torn off. Just filth, just complete filth. And these were people that were living in this house 2 days before this. Animal droppings, dog mess, food wrappers, dead mice. The floors were in really good shape when they moved in. They're completely destroyed now. And really what it's going to happen is half the sheetrock in the house is going to be torn out. And the trim is all going to have to be replaced just to get the house back in order. They let water leak out of the bathtub, and they had a bucket lid over that to keep the hole in the floor from being open. This is their bedroom. This is the adults in the house, their bedroom. They left trash and furniture and all that. All those black bags are not clothes. Those are all literally food garbage left in the house. So, and this is the second, well, that's a view down the hallway there, and then this is the second bedroom, and then here, and this is where they had a dog, I think, pinned in this room. I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but you can see scratch marks by the door there. More trash, just pure garbage in the hallway. And this is where one of the children was sleeping. So we did report this to the proper channels of authority to make sure that those children are being looked after. Kids wrote all over the walls with crayon and just stuff strewn everywhere. So the entire house is going to have to be painted and redone. So you can see, completely embarrassing to me, a person who gives advice to investors daily. I tell these people, hey, here's what you need to do to screen your tenants, and here's what you do to make sure that nothing's going wrong. And there you have it, folks. I didn't do it. I didn't follow my own advice, and now I have to reap the whirlwind, so to speak, and get all that cleaned up. It's probably going to cost me, when all said and done, it's probably going to cost me between $5,000 and $10,000 to put that house back into rentable, livable condition. But it will be cleaned up, and it will be it'll be spick and span whenever it's over, and it'll be safe for the next tenants. All the flooring will be refinished. All the sheetrock will be torn out and redone, and it's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost a lot of money. But on the flip side of that, and here's what I tell myself to kind of soothe my pain, and Kim, I tell Kim this too, so she doesn't hit me too hard, because it was my job to keep up with it, and I didn't. Those tenants were there for 5 years, and their rent for the entire time was around $700 a month. So if you look at 5 years times 700, that's $43,000. Now, if you take into account that I had a couple rent that house a year before that at the same price, and then I had a girl rent it for 4 months, you can see that that's a lot of money coming in. For that house, when I bought it, I paid $42,000. And I put about $1,700 in it to paint it and get it ready to go. So over the course of the time that they were there, even though they trashed it, they paid for it. So we own that house free and clear now, and then I can reinvest some money. I'll be able to catch the rent up to normal, more along the lines of market rent. Is it aggravating? Yes, but it's really my fault, and we call that tuition paid. I'm going to have to pay my tuition here to learn this lesson on the worst case scenario. But ultimately, I still think it's worth owning the house. Now, I'm going to have to be more diligent about going to my properties, checking on things, and that is definitely something that I'm working on now to get a system lined up so that I can have more frequent checks to make sure our properties are being taken care of, so we don't have to spend that unnecessary money later. So if you are a real estate investor, heed my advice, because I didn't heed my own advice. Check on your properties at least once a quarter. You have the right to go over there and check the filters. You have the right to go over there and spray for insects. You have the right to go over there and make sure the house is in order. Let your tenants know that you're coming ahead of time. Schedule it. Make sure that they are aware. And if nothing else, then at least once every 3 months, your house is being put in decent order, or you're getting rid of problem tenants. So, if I can help you anyway with any kind of real estate needs, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I hope this video will help you in some way to manage your properties better than I have managed this one. And I look forward to speaking to you and bringing you some more content in the future. Click like and subscribe if this video has helped you at all. Follow me on social media at John the House Guy, no H in John, Jon the House Guy. And you guys have a great week. God bless.